Okay, I wanted to just throw cards very quickly on Princess Catherine and her um surgery, um, and how things look for her, and just kind of what information the cards will share about her situation. Because it's awfully strange, you have her and King um, going in for surgery at the same, kind of in the window of the same period. Well, she's already had hers apparently, and she's recuperating. And it's been said that I just glanced at some headlines that she's doing supposedly well in her recovery. Now, what I have covering her is the tower. This definitely is the tower moment for going on for the royals, and most certainly also for her. This was not expected. This has been very disruptive, and I think, pardon the wound back in the back, um, I think also jarring. I just don't think this was something that I think the symptoms must have been sudden and escalating to make her have to go to the hospital. This energy, though, of the tower that covers her is rippling outward. Um, this is also, when you get the tower, it's a reset button. It is guiding you to rebuild your awareness of your life, your health, your actions, so on and so forth, on a more realistic foundation, on a thoughtful one, where before things were taken for granted, so on and so forth. With the tower, we get accustomed. Interesting that there's crowns. Oh my god. And the royals. It's kind of things that make you go, in the tarot. All right, so that's covering her. Well, that's a lot. And the magician. This to me is probably the surgery, but also the manipulation. I'm sure that's going on, that's crossing her, that can be difficult. Um, and it connects to communication, and also trying to manifest what she would needs or wants. And this could be healing, also about healing. Maybe there's a challenge in healing. And definitely there's manipulation. The basis is this is a very challenging, uh, energy wise. She's just got the energy to handle these things that are coming up, and it's not just one thing. With whatever this was, I feel like there were pains. I do, with the wands, and maybe even burning pains potentially going on in and around the abdominal area, and trying to overcome that from the surgery. Okay. Now, the position of the Knight of Cups crowns her. Um, I'm sorry, no. Yeah. Toot, toot, is crowning her. This is to do with offers and people coming to her with ideas or proposal. This can be people that advise her on how to combat the challenges with the surgery. I think also there is a time spent somewhat reflecting as one advances. I think emotional energy can also be a bit more amplified with her. It could be something, with women's reproductive health, as well as bowel. Um, but either way, what is going on here, it looks like it would have been a considerable challenge and something that took her off guard. And there's going to be something that has to, I think, I don't know if it has to be rebuilt or something definitely mended, which with surgery, of course, is not particularly surprising. She had a great deal of worry. This shows up in her recent past. I'm sure worried about the manipulation going on, what people might say about it, uh, as well as the circumstances going on in day-to-day life there, especially with the royals. There's a lot of stress. Um, Especially at this moment, you've got Andrew's issues coming up, and you've got, of course, the problems between Harry and Meghan, with the rest of the royals, and all this, the king, and all that. So we definitely see that she's also trying to spin this herself. I think she wants some sense of control over things. And this is someone trying to get away with something here. And it could be something being removed here as well, taken away with the Seven of Swords. But I feel like there's something very clever here, very shrewd in getting someone, maybe even getting away with something. But I feel like more that she might feel that way, that she's gotten away with something. Maybe not. That worry, it makes me feel like it's maybe somebody else, either her or someone else. Okay. Well, she's planning for her future. She's definitely looking ahead. So I think there's also a positive frame of mind here, at least with the three, even though she's been going through a very challenging time. So this is thinking, what's going to be laid out, what she's going to be doing, and so on and so forth. But it looks like there's looking forwards. So that's good. That's a positive outlook. Um, in her environment is the Ace of Cups. It could, this is in the environment. This is a great deal of emotions on being worn on one's sleeve. And I think she knows that people will have an interest in this and be emotionally invested in it, and communicative. Again, an accent on being communicative in sharing and displaying, releasing of emotions, as well as people at the royal household could be very in a very emotional challenge of not breaking in sort of, let's just say, releasing some pent up stress of some kind, even with the circumstances. But I see some shrewdness at maybe with just at the PR of dealing with the surgery itself and trying to give her some privacy. But that's not going to happen. You're a royal. People want it, especially about your health. Um, the Two of Swords. She would just like to block everybody out, I believe, and tune out and just focus on her healing. She's also, I think, afraid of things not moving forward quickly enough. I think that would be a fear. I do get justice. That's interesting. Well, there's going to be definitely, I think, a sense of something being balanced, corrected, um, and decision made, just that are significant. This down the road could also be something legal, taking legal action, maybe upon those that mislead or do something that's underhanded. It can be theft, it could be fraud, it could be, I don't know. But there is something legal here. I'm not quite sure how that um plays out. Let's just pull a few more cards. Okay, there she is. And she's a queen, and this is about her women's health as well. And this is, I feel like, sharing with someone, a friend, maybe her own. I don't know. I really don't know that much about the royals, to be honest. So is her mother still alive? I don't know. Regardless, it could be just a friend, but there is support for her. And I think women, there's a great deal of women that might be supportive of her. Um, she's definitely, I think, out of the royal fans, I'm not a big monarchy type of person by any means, uh, but it looks like she has support. And I do feel that it might have something to do with women's health that may have been an issue. We have, I think, a greater strength too, very close, I feel like, to her children, very motherly, protective of her children. Hmm. And she's enduring, learning to endure. I think this is teaching her how to change some things with her own health, or how she's going to live after this surgery, just trying to be healthy and that kind of thing. Okay, I get a couple of people here, a female and a male. I have a feeling this could be her husband, and this could be another family member. I'm not sure. There's, oh yeah, the king as well. I'm just thinking about the surgery aspect pops out, and the king and King William. I'm sorry. Wow, weird. I meant to say Prince William. And this new year with the surgeries and a journey, so to speak, with dealing with health. But I do think, and there's risk also though tied with the Fool and surgeries as well. Just it's tough. Um, Family, and there, I do feel like this is looking at her recovery and getting back involved in family duties and back on her feet, and I do think she will. But it's going to be a journey to recover from this. It's not a quick recovery. So, but I see her doing it. Okay. This is sharing great deal of, this is like lethargy, a loss of energy and strain and stress. Um, and I feel like a wish comes true with regard to perhaps a overly stressed uh, cycle. It's learning, it's something she's just going to have to put down, certain baggage as well that she carries around. I think there's dealing with somebody that's always got to win. The things that they do and say tend to be heated. I think she's got issues in dealing with her relationship. Um, but I think some things there are going to start to shift too as a result of this, because this looks at partnerships and harmony and moving forward in a more harmonious fashion with more direction and overcoming this. So there's some thinking that she's definitely doing and planning in for her future, and to do with her relationship with her husband, and I think some other family members and people that can be really have a hot temper and say things that are really sharp, hurtful. And that's her children, and I think the past that I'm being shown. And this is juggling, having to juggle family, changing also, I think, how she's juggled things in the past. This makes her have to do it. And I'm being shown a man, and I think it could be Charles, that perhaps King Charles, that is very set in it, the way he thinks. I don't think this person, this male energy, it could be your husband as well, as far as I know. I'd have to look and see what William's birth date is, but um, this is a male that's very, thinks in a very restricted way. There's a certain kind of a confinement to their way of viewing and relating, and they're a bit aloof. There's going to be clarity for her with him, or illumination, that, I think of like a bit of a post-traumatic stress feeling. Maybe she'll better understand the behavior. So I think they're both going to kind of go through the royals, both of them, I get like, I think the king will recover and everything, but I think that there's a level of stress that's running through their household, and it shows. And I think it makes the illnesses and things that they get more aggravated. But there's fighting and arguing going on, and within the home. Let me just pull a few more and try to finish this out. This is seeking more solitude, for peace of mind, and I think just quiet. Um, and, always being in the spotlight, not wanting to maybe be seen as much or be out as much. I don't know if that's part of the argument, and having to pull back from public things, maybe. But the cat scared me. There's celebration. The end of a very difficult cycle. But there's a painfulness. Yeah, and things will get better for her. Figuring out ways to deal with it. But I think there's a lot of dissension. So I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. And I would appreciate that for my algorithm. Thank you. I'll see you in the next reading.